Hey, afternoon. It's Monday. Yeah. I got a really extraordinary comment on one of my videos, and thank you very much, Chris. Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think you might be French. But that's okay. I understood what you were saying. I'm trying to find my phone charger because I'm like literally on 20% right now. Yep, still in the bedroom. Okay, so in any case, I got to watching a really good interview with Michaela Peterson being interviewed by Thomas DeLauer. And Thomas DeLauer doesn't normally do like sit down podcasty type of things. He generally goes into a very detailed biochemical and research supported FYI and educational type of thing on supplementations and whatnot. In which I greatly appreciate him altogether. But him interviewing her was like, woo, this is like cupcakes with icing. Because if you don't know who Michaela Peterson is, she is basically the creator, not so much a creator, it's basically by virtue of elimination and necessity on her part, but she calls it the lion diet, and it is basically all ruminant meats. There's no chicken and pork in there. It's cow, deer, elk, bison, lamb, thing like that. And the reason why she created this diet was predominantly because she has an autoimmune condition that she was diagnosed with at a very young age, and basically being medically gaslit for her entire childhood and half of her adult life. She got fed up and she eliminated everything, and she'd try something and she'd flare up. So that acts that too. It's basically gotten down to she lives on meat because of her sensitivities. Her immune condition is so sensitive to the oxalates and lectins and varying other things that are within plant product. Which leads me to this. After listening to her, and of course having watched Thomas DeLauer for years, and varying other practitioners, nutritionists. Now I know her name is Candy Frazier. She's fantastic. Alongside therapists like Danish Bashar and Dr. Ramani and of course Richard Gannon and Les Carter and his cohort. I don't know what her name is, but they have a channel together where they do like skit acting out scenarios. So like things that I talk about in regard to what I experienced in the past, all my old videos that I've locked down, they act them out. There's another woman, I don't know what her name is, but her channel is Stronger Than Before. She does a really good job of miming back and forth. And God, I can't remember the other girl. She's so cute. She got glasses. She wears a little ball cap when she's playing the guy part, and they, flip back and forth. She's awesome. Her scenarios are basically, every time she does her skits, it reminds me of the benign narcissist who now has the wife with lupus. It's just like that. I think that's who she's talking about. You know, that kind of thing. He was extremely in love with his chemicals. So we I forgave him for his apology toward me in regard, based upon the fact that I think that he probably would have been a really great person had he been sober. But now I'm starting to question that fact, or that assumption, based on the fact that his wife now has lupus. So I'm pretty sure he really isn't much different, just probably a little bit more mild-mannered. Anyway, so having watched her and understanding the discrepancies, basically, in what goes missed in therapy. All right, so you left one of these relationships, your body is falling apart, you're exhausted, you ache all over, you feel sick, you're sleeping all the friggin' time, you're gaining weight, but you're not eating. The only relaxation that you can get is either from a pharmaceutical or you're drinking yourself like to a stupor. You feel like a lost cause. You might have been a trad wife, so now you have no job. You have no idea where to start, where to pick up the pieces, and how to get your life back. So this is going to sound like an even more monumental concept to healing what is broken after leaving one of these crazy, abusive relationships. Likely, the person that afflicted this abuse falls in the cluster B category. Mildly or severely, or multiple, cohabitating, comorbid, narcissist and borderline. They got attributes of both, or narcissist and sociopathic, and they got things of both, or borderline and psychopathic, and they got little attributes of both. You don't fucking know. That's why I call it a cluster B milkshake, because most of them have attributes of each other. Some of them are all similar across the board. But you got to have at least 4 or 5 or 5 of 9 of each in order to be classified. Who's got fucking time for this? You can go buy a DSM-5 and you can just highlight and figure it out for yourself. Because that type of personality disorder, multiple, parens with an S, is not going to willfully, 90% of the time, go seek help by themselves. Be like, I'm an abusive fuck, and please help me, because I've just ruined my marriage because I'm an abusive fuck. No, they're not. They're not going to run to a therapist or a psychologist or, a psychiatrist to fix themselves until they're literally in a gutter, rock bottom. Will they find it within themselves to maybe, hey, I need to fix my shit? But you, as a victim who has escaped and is going through recovery, needs proper nutrition. And that is where my forte, my arena of interest and kind of like my layman's knowledge with the little pre-med education that I had before I got a computer degree. I understand this stuff a lot, in depth. I'm pretty well versed. Someone comes to me with fucked up blood work, I can probably tell them how to fix it. Like, yeah, you're deficient here, that kind of thing. And how to read it. It's like code. Anyway. And, so my suggestion is, if you're really needing guidance and you need to get your health back, Danish Bashar has a couple of videos on supplementation, but the guru of brain health is actually Dr. Amen. And the other guru for natural supplementation is Dr. LeGrand. They're both on YouTube. If you need metabolic help, you've got Dr. Berg and Dr. Barry. If you need cardiovascular or overall wellness, he's a preventive medicine doctor. That'd be Dr. Brewer. If you need nutritional advice or even just little snippets of, here, you might want to try this, you want Candy Frazier. And if you need to learn this narcissistic abusive relationship dynamic or the personality in itself, I would recommend Dr. Romney, Richard Gannon, and HD Tudor. Yeah. He's basically the be-all, end-all of narcissists. And he has a little, it just basically says HD Tudor on there. Not a whole lot of activity to watch, but listen to him. He'll tell you everything you need to know about that personality disorder because he lives it every day. Because he is one. Explains them all in depth. So, I am on beer 2. I had, and I'm not going to go on in the rant on the wheat concept, but all I'm saying is, if you want to get your health back and you want to come out of this, squeaky clean and full of energy and your head back in check, avoid production wheat products. You go for the organic. Go for the European imported. Bob's Red Mill has gluten-free and or organic flour. A lot of people who are gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant, I don't think they're necessarily, allergic to the gluten. I think they're allergic to the chemicals that are put on the American wheat. Because I'm gluten sensitive to American stuff. But I can go to Europe and eat it all day long with no problem. I'm so sensitive to it here in America that I have to drink imported beer. Yeah. No joke. I used to drink Killian's. Started to make me sick. I had to go to something else. This does not make me sick. Bakery bread does not make me bloat. It's not so much the wheat products as it is the chemicals that are in the stuff that you get down the bread aisle. You need to think about that. You can eat frozen green beans, but you can't eat canned ones. You eat homemade raviolis or the organic stuff, Bertolli. Or, what is it? Greenwise is a good one. In the fresh food section, the fresh pasta section, not the dried stuff. You have no problem with that, but you can't eat Chef Boyardee. It's the processing. It's the chemicals in the food that's making a lot of people sick. And if you are coming out of one of these relationships and your body has completely malfunctioned, it's probably a good idea to reconsider what you're putting in your mouth and find alternatives that are more on the healthy spectrum. Yeah, I watered the plants and now I am like getting inundated by fungus gnats again. I had them gone for about 3 weeks and they've all come back. Here we go again. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be swatting. Anyway, yeah, this is what you get for being, having houseplants and liking to garden. So, yeah. Feel my pain. But yeah, that was my thing today. I started looking into, some of the nutrition stuff a little bit more in depth. Ran across somebody else, and Here we are. But yeah, there's God, there's a lot to this. And there's so many layers to it. So you got to do day by day. I mean, honestly, I had attended a few AA meetings when I was living in a homeless shelter ages and ages and ages ago. And believe it or not, what was it? Was it Al-Anon? It's the group. It might have been Al-Anon. I'll think about it. It's the one where it's the wives that get together. The wives of the alcoholics is basically how it originated. So, take it up with Mrs. Wilson. May she rest in peace. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, they would have a meeting when the men were doing their meetings, because back in the day it was predominantly men who were having the alcohol problems, who were the alcoholics. And then it was the wife of the man who actually published the 12-step book of Alcohol Anonymous. She and the other wives created a group where they would discuss behaviors and shit that they would put up with these crazy men who are in a meeting in another room of the house. If you've never, I can't remember where the damn movie, what was it called? It's on YouTube. That's where I was like, it's not titled to where you would think that's, and after I was watching, I was like, oh shit, this is the like the biography of that whole, how it originated. Yeah, I was about halfway through it, and I was like, why does this story sound so damn familiar? And then it dawned on me. So, if you can find one of those meetings, even if your man wasn't an alcoholic, but more than likely he was, it's a good, I would say 80% chance that there was a chemical romance involved there. Even if it wasn't alcohol, if it was something else, and you need support from somebody who's been there, done that, dealt with the abuse because of the chemical romance, that group is amazing. Amazing. Outside of, if you can't afford therapy, find one of those groups. They don't talk about it much. Everybody's like, go to AA, go to NA, do this. No. If you're a victim of abuse, you need that group, not the AA group. Actually, I would go to AA here, and then an hour later, I'd go to the other one. It would basically, because I have a controlled alcoholism. I don't need to wake up and have a beer in the morning. But when I get home, or if I've had a stressful day, that's as good as having any prescription medication. Some days I only need one beer. Some days I might need 8 to pull the edge off. But you rest assured that I am not going to drink myself to a stumbling stupor and fall out of the chair on my face and then get up and scream at somebody while I am in a drunken state. I'm usually, if I get drunk enough, I'm just going to go to sleep. There is no anger in it. It's just, personalities are different. Some people, they get 2 beers in them and they turn into raging assholes. There's other people like me and my dad. We drink ourselves till we're blind and we'd be giggling the whole time. Not to mention, it gives me the courage to get on here and talk to myself, which is in itself. So, y'all have a great Monday evening. But yeah, I will have to look it up. It's the the subgroup to Alcoholics Anonymous. It's basically a group for the wives. Good luck finding one. I only knew of like one down in Florida. Anyway, peace out, y'all. Have a great night.